No, great win for us today. I mean, it's great to send 30 seniors out the right way. I think the guys that have been here all 4 years are 21 and 4 at Ford Stadium. That's a big deal. They've not lost a conference game in their first 2 years in the ACC at home. I mean, that's wild. And so, what the seniors, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy who got here this year like TJ Harden, the guy that's been here the last 2 years like Matt Hibner, guy who's been here 3 years like Cam Robertson and others, or a guy that's been here 4, like RJ Maryland and Isaiah and Smith and Ahmad Moses, or if you guys been here 5 years like Stone and Isaiah Wachovia. I mean, they've all contributed to what we're building, and just it's always great as a coach for them to go out on a high note, right? It doesn't always work out that way. The bye week obviously helped us at a good time. I know they were beat up and we're without some guys, and so that factors in, but I saw it was a complete team win. Defensively, I mean, no touchdowns, 49 plays, that's incredible. And then offensively, we finally scored a touchdown on the opening drive, so Billy, you can quit asking me about that. And even though you haven't, but I just figured I'd throw you under the bus. But that was good. We got off to a good start, I think, scoring 3 of the first 4 drives. We ran the ball well to control the game. We got off the field on defense, and it was just a good day. And you could tell our guys were ready to play last night and today, and really happy for them.
Hey, Coach, how did you feel about the passing defense? They only had 100 yards passing.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I understand, they've got a talented redshirt freshman quarterback. I know that Miller didn't play, and they played 2 other guys. They still have Chris Bell. Y'all saw the catch he made right before half. They still have Lacey and an excellent coach. And so, that's been the thing for us. We've done a good job throughout the year of stopping the run. I don't know if we've smothered it, but like people haven't just lined up and ran us over and controlled the game, which has been big. But what we've gotten so much better at throughout the season is getting pressure on the quarterback, and most importantly, not giving up those explosive plays in the passing game. And I mean, you hold anybody to 100 yards passing, that's a pretty good day, especially when they still threw it 20 times. So
Kevin had 300 yards for the 3rd straight week, and it seems like he was making a lot of those plays that we saw last season, just the ones that he's known for. How much do you think the bye week helps him in terms of being healthy, and just what have the last couple games been like for him?
The bye week helped Kevin a lot. I mean, that's the healthiest he's been since week 2. I think you could tell the scramble early to throw it to Hibner. Then he got out of trouble. We were hot on a blitz. He makes a guy miss, runs for a first down. The touchdown run, like he was extending plays and doing some things that he probably wasn't doing earlier in the year just because he couldn't. He was still playing and doing a lot of good things, but it allowed his entire game. I mean, I know he didn't have 100 yards rushing or anything, but you saw how he can extend plays and move the chain. So he definitely is feeling the best he's felt. He helped our whole team. I mean, we had a lot of guys back that haven't been playing the last few weeks. So, sometimes the bye week comes at a time that really benefits you. It helped us. But Kev makes us go. I mean, everybody knows that. And from making plays, throwing the football, making plays, running around, throwing it to TJ Harden for a touchdown when that's exactly how we drew that play up, to extending plays, and he has so much fun doing it, and his teammates feed off of it.
You talk about the play to Harden. I mean, clearly, nice. I mean, it looks like he's clearly to run it in.
And he probably could have. Yeah.
I mean, what does that say about him, just about how just to make a play knowing it's in front of him?
One, he has great field vision. And when you can see the whole field as a quarterback, and then you have the experience he has, you're in total control. And when you're like Kevin, you have, especially when you're healthy, you can escape trouble, right? Where maybe some guys can't. So they got to get the ball out. Well, Kevin always feels like he can, sometimes it hurts. He can keep every play alive, right? But like he really can. And so you can just tell, man, he's really comfortable in what we do. He's really comfortable in college football. And when he's out there, he's just in total control of everything that's going on. I mean, I thought he's played really well all year for us, but it was good to see him getting healthy down the stretch when we need it.
Rhett, you guys have taken care of business. You're going to the last game of the regular season with a chance still to get a title game. Just talk about getting to this positioning.
I'm proud of this team, because this team it's a new team, right? And so I think this is 3 straight years we'll play the final game of the regular season, either already in a conference championship game or playing to get into one. Now, it's the first time we haven't been in control of our own destiny. Maybe that changes today, maybe it doesn't. But when we were 2-2 going into the first bye week after we let 2 non-conference games get away from us, and we were young and we were inexperienced, particularly on defense, and we were hurt on offense, and we were very, very, very average. if the coaching staff and the players in this building didn't have the culture and the belief that they have, I don't know what it would look like, but they just kept believing and going to work. And now, here we are playing with a lot of confidence when it matters. And that's a big deal. Playing with confidence helps. Now, we're going to play a team next week that's got a lot of confidence too. So, but no, really proud of them. No matter what happens with things we can't control, what we can control is how we finish. So far, we're doing a good job. We got to finish it off next week. Chris?
November, you guys have been very good since you got here. Your team seems to get better as the year goes on. What do you kind of point to for that?
I don't know if there's any one thing. In general, everything we do is focused on finishing. If you go in our team room, there's 4 core values. The 4th one's finish. And it's not last because it's least important. It's last because we're finishing, And it doesn't matter whether you're in the off-season workouts, you're in a game, you're in November. Like, we want our guys to learn to be finishers in life. Finisher's a great life skill. And being a finisher is a great life skill. And so we don't overly talk about it. Just everything Grizz does starting in January in the off-season to everything we do in the winter program, to everything we do in the spring ball, to once we get into summer conditioning, to fall camp, drills we do late in fall camp. Everything always comes back to finishing. The end of our practices are the hardest part of our practice. All those little things that you don't necessarily always even have to say, we're working on this. You just try to train for it, right? You've got to train for things to have confidence in it. And credit the past couple years in kids that carry over to each team. They're like, no, this is what we do. We win in November. And so doesn't mean we're going to win next week or next year, but our guys have kind of created a reputation of, hey, we're going to be at our best at the end of the year. Now, we want to be at our best all the time, but we just want to always be a team that's getting better. So I think it's a mentality that's kind of woven into everything we try to do in the program. I think our staff deserves a ton of credit for how we take care of our players. This is 2025. It's not like when my dad played football or when I played football. We didn't beat them up last year. We're still a physical football team. We do what we have to do to be physical in the spring, in the summer and fall camp, and the first couple weeks of the season, and then we do the best we can because we know it's a long haul season. And I can't speak for how other people do it, but we try to do everything with the intention of the end result in mind. So, and then the last thing I'll say, I'll give credit to the first team we had here. When I got hired, it was Tanner Mordecai, Rasheed Rice, and Jimmy Phillips, and I know Jalen Thomas. I'm missing guys, but within the first few weeks on the job, they came to me and said, we were just talking about a few things. Coach, we want to finish better. I go, yeah, okay, I do too. No, we want to finish better in November. We always lose in November. I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't really know. I did some digging. At that time, we hadn't had a winning record in November since 2009. That year, we went into November 4-4. And we finished 3-1 in the month of November, went 7-5, beat Memphis at home to get that 3rd win, to say we had a winning November. We didn't win a conference championship that year. But that group kind of set the tone for, no, this is going to be who we want to be. And I think that in our first year has kind of just carried on through our program. And so, you got to redo it every year, but our guys have bought into it.
Do you understand all the tiebreakers?
I think so, but I really don't know if anybody wants to hear from me on that. I know this, they all start with SMU has to beat Cal. But I have a good idea of what they are, I think.
Is that something that you stress all of the players, or that's something that just...
We didn't talk about the ACC championship game or anything one time on Monday. I walked in, Coach Dunham had the scouting report. I talked to him for about a minute and a half because we didn't have a game the week before. And I said, hey, all that matters is we got to beat Louisville. I said, there's 5, 6 different ways that this thing goes the way we want it to go, and they all start with SMU beats Louisville. So let's go do what we can do. Obviously, if Georgia Tech or Virginia lose, we still got to win next week. If they don't, we need some help. We got that help last night. I think we've gotten that help today, but there's a long way to go and all that. So, going into last week, I'm sure our kids aren't dumb. They're going to be looking it up and all that, but they've done a good job this far in being focused on what's right in front of them. And so we'll come in tomorrow. We'll start getting ready for Cal. We'll have our team meeting Monday morning, and no matter what, we're still going to be in it, and we got to go beat Cal for anything else to matter. So we try to focus on that and simplify it best we can.
A couple of big 3rd down conversions on that opening drive.
Yeah.
That helped you guys finish. Yeah. 9 of 13 overall on third downs. What was working so well today in that regard? Because straight game.
I think the fact that we were running the ball well, we did we have one or maybe two 3rd and 10 pluses? I mean, most of it were somewhere between that 3rd and 3 to 7 range, and that's a big difference, right? I mean, it's a difference on how the defense plays you. It's a difference on the options you can do. You can run it, you can throw it. They don't know if you're going to run it because you may be thinking 2 downs. I think our staff put a great plan together, and I think because we could run the ball, we were in more advantageous situations, and our guys executed. I mean, the reason Louisville's been really good on defense this year, you saw it again, they don't give up a lot of explosive plays. And even the ones they do, other than that last late run, like, we didn't score on them. And so we had to drive the football. 35 minutes time of possession. You have to go 9 of 12 on the ones that mattered to be able to do that. And so I think our staff did a nice job, but most important, our players executed. We protected a lot of their exotic blitzes. Kevin got the ball out of his hands, scrambled for a few. I think that's always big early. Like the one he hits Hibner on early, that's big, because if not, you're punting after 4 or 5 plays. Here we go again. We don't score. You get to keep asking your question, all that. He scrambles around, makes a great throw. Matt makes a great catch. I believe that was 3rd and 7, and we end up scoring on the drive, right? So a fast start doesn't guarantee you're going to play well, but it sure helps.
The ability to run the ball, is it, can you point to certain things that have really helped the last 2 weeks? TJ being healthy, it just seems like he's able to run with a lot more confidence right now.
Yeah, I think it's a various number of things. I mean, guys being healthier, not just them, the O-linemen. I mean, our O-line's played beat up to PJ and Logan and all those guys all year. And I think our staff's done a better job of learning over the last month or two this team and what we have and what we can be good at, and put game plans together to give our guys a chance to be successful. And then our guys have taken it to heart that about a month ago we're like, guys, we got to run the football better if we want to be who we want to be. We talked about this a month ago. We got to run the football better and be better on 3rd downs. We've done that the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we're more consistent as an offense. So
since Wake, it's basically been backs against the wall. You got to win to even get a chance in the postseason. Why do you think they've responded so well these 3 games and obviously playing kind of the best they have all year?
yeah, because they're close. They love each other. It's a family. It's not fake family. It's real family. Guys care about each other. They have each other's back. They trust their coaches. They trust their teammates. The coaches trust the players. You don't win and you don't respond well to adversity in the season just because I come in one day and have a good speech in the team meeting room. We win because of what we do January through August. January through August, we set a foundation that'll hold up through the good and the bad throughout the season. And some years you have more good and some years you have more bad, right? This year we've had more bad early and more injuries, but the guys never flinch because they believe in everything that's going on, and belief's the most powerful thing you can have. But it happens because of relationships, and it takes time. And whether it's guys that have been here or whether it's all these new guys, I mean, we brought in a lot of new guys, and they bought right in. And so, yeah, I mean, that's football. Every game is that way, right? There's ups and downs. Even days where you have better days like today, there's still times in the game where it's a critical moment. It doesn't go your way. Like, you got to respond. So our guys just credit our leadership on our team, but I just think it goes back to how our staff and our players, starting in January to August, what we emphasize, and it doesn't start with X's and O's.
Coach.
I noticed you mentioned Hibner's big catch. One of the things I noticed in this game and several games this year is there's a lot of times where because Jennings is in control, but he doesn't, the ball isn't always 100% perfect on the spot, but the receivers, they make it perfect every time they go and they make the play. Is that due to Coach Likens just establishing that mentality that you're going to make it right every time as much as you can? Yeah,
it's a good observation. I mean, Coach Likens, Coach Woods, Coach Coop, those guys that have the running backs, tight ends, receivers, I mean, we talk all the time about contested catches because in big-time college football or NFL, contested catches. I mean, every now and then you get a guy wide open, great, but like contested catches and not just catching it when it's perfect, right? So yeah, I think they played a lot together. They drill a lot. And I think it goes back to Kevin, like, you can't be perfect as a quarterback. If you try to be perfect, you're not going to be very good. Like, you've got to be willing to just kind of play free. But what he does a nice job is that he gives them chances. May not be perfect, but he gives them a chance, and the ball location is away from the defender. So it allows them to make a play on the ball versus the defender. And so I think just it goes to repetitions. I mean, Matt and him played together now 2 full years. 2 full off seasons, and so they've developed that kind of connection, if you will. And so have the other guys. He scrambles on a boot and hits Melo on the wheel route that's covered, but he back shoulders it. Well, he throws it there on purpose. Someone go, oh, he underthrew that and threw it behind him. No, if he throws it right here, it's going to be incomplete because the defender's covering him. So he underthrows it. Melo sees the ball, falls back, catches it. Like, that takes time to develop that, but that's what you see in the NFL. You don't see a lot of perfect throws all the time. You see him giving guys chances, and the best wideouts, tight ends, running backs make those hard catches, right? Because that's how you throw people open. So, and I mean, Matt Hibner's an NFL player, so we're glad we got him.
To go off of that a little bit, 9 different guys caught passes today, including Charlie Pfizer completing a pass to Keaton Sheaves. What does that say about the depth in the skill positions, and also how important are guys like Charlie and Keaton to this football team?
I would start with the last part. Guys like Charlie, Keaton, all those guys. I mean, of the 30 seniors, we have probably 10 to 12 guys who don't play a ton of snaps, but I mean just as much of this program, both internally with the culture, both in practice and all those things. So it's good to see those guys get to play. And we had a lot of them play their last game today at Ford Stadium. And what was your first question?
Just talk about the depth you have at receiver.
Yeah, I think what's great is, so our first year here, we didn't have the depth, and Jordan Curley got hurt maybe that year. And so, I mean, Rasheed was Rasheed, so he probably caught almost 100 balls and all that. But the last 3 years, I mean, we've had good receivers, and we've had really good tight ends, and we've not maybe had guys lead the conferences and stat sheets because we don't force feed the ball, right? We call the plays, we play fast, we spread the field, and Kevin just is like a point guard and just is distributing the ball where it needs to go. And so some days this guy has a big game, some days this guy has a big game. We try to put them in position as much as we can, doing what they're all good at. But I think the guys deserve credit because they're bought into winning first. Do they want stats? You bet. But they're bought into winning first. And now for 3 years they've seen it work. So it's like, well, yeah, sure. Like Matt Hibner could lead the league as a tight end. He could probably lead the country in catches, yards, and touchdowns if we forced the ball to Matt Hibner. He really could. I'm telling you, the guy's an NFL player. And if they don't draft him, they're idiots. So, but someone will, because there's not a lot of idiots out there in the NFL. But he doesn't care. He just plays. He's a great blocker. And so they all bought into that team mentality. I mean, guys, Yamir Knight's block on Melo's little kind of bubble was elite. And then a few plays later, he catches a touchdown. You know what I mean? And so it takes time, and guys have to really be selfless at a time where they're being told by everybody to get yours. But they've started to learn that, man, if I do my job, the ball's going to come to me, and when it does, I make my play. And so I think that makes you harder to defend. Long-winded answer for you. But when they know, like we know the ball's got to go to Chris Bell today. Okay, he still had a good day, but like it helps us shade the coverage that way. Well, if they're only going to throw the ball to Jordan Hudson, then they're going to shade the coverage. But if you throw it to Jordan and Romello and Yamir and RJ and Matt and the backs, now it kind of makes people play more honest. So guys have done a good job of just buying into that winning matters most first.
What could you see from some of those seniors that ran out and just how they played in their final game at Ford, especially the 5 that have been here from the
Yeah, they weren't going to be denied. I mean, it's a good feeling as a coach. I had it a lot of times last year. I've had it a few times this year, but I felt as good as I have going in this game, like running out on the field, like I think we're going to be okay. Just because they weren't going to be denied. They were ready. They did a good job of balancing the fact that they knew this was their last game here, but they weren't overly emotional about it. Matter of fact, I was probably the most emotional one in pregame when they were running out. But man, they're a fun group, and I'm really, really happy we got to send them out this way, but they weren't going to be denied today, so I'm glad they played well.
When we talked to you on senior day last year, you got pretty emotional. Is it like that for you every year?
I guess. I came back in, because my wife's underneath in the tunnel, because she doesn't want any spotlight on her, so she's up in there hugging them all before they walk out. But I got pressed the first 3 or 4. Like, I about lost. It was early. It was Romello and Ahmad. I can't remember now. Oh, Isaiah Wakobe was the first one. You know, they were leading off with heavy hitters. So I was like, the first 3 or 4, I go, man, I can't look at you. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm getting old, getting soft in my old age. But she did tell me afterwards I held it together.
Yeah, you did decent.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, gonna miss those guys. You know, last year that's when I realized Roderick Daniels was almost done playing here, was when he ran out on senior day, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.